little whale trying to work out what I was.
Just 50 years ago, this feeling of a connection would have seemed unthinkable, even ludicrous perhaps. But in less than a generation, our attitude to whales has turned 180 degrees. What happened? Did it all?
The moment it all changed for me was when we heard the first time. When Roger Payne in Scotland Bay.
I am not joining the 500 at 25 miles an hour.
That moment,
I can wait for you outside. She looked at him as though she'd just found him on the sole of her shoe.
Oh, wow.
No, not really, she said.
That's,
right. I just thought...
something of a blatant
She
red
shrugged.
light jump. You're still doing it.
She had the shoulders of a
Jesus,
broad
man.
shrugger. Mercifully, the door opened. The three Raphaelites came out,
That was
smiling in
pitiful
a manner
driving.
that nearly melted Paul's teeth. And the grim-faced man called out, "Mr. Carpenter, please." Employment. Paul's parents had, albeit grudgingly, stumped up for his rent and the
Use your
occasional
indicator,
loaf
arsehole.
of baked beans. Somehow he did 19th century popular culture. And if that was what lit Destiny's candle for her, he wasn't about to criticise. Each to his own, he reckoned. It could have been a whole lot worse.
No.
I'm really sorry, he said with all the sincerity he could muster. You must be... She shrugged.
Drive like a dickhead.
A bit. Oh. Not, he added. Mineral deposits and stuff. That sounds like a proper business. You know, industry, high finance, capitalism. You mean boring? Paul nodded. Boring and non-weird.
What are you f***ing doing?
Bauxite. It's a whole different kettle of fish from claw marks and swords in stones, isn't it? She wiped her nose on her cuff and frowned.
Oh, I need to let that.
Could be.
Thank you. Please.
Paul didn't comment on it. I take it this isn't your idea of a rich, fulfilling career? No. What is? She scowled. I don't know, she said. Truth is, I don't really want to do anything much. Children. I used to have nightmares. Makes you wonder what was in the rissoles, Paul said gloomily. They divided the photos between them and went over them in silence, taking the job seriously. But Paul didn't get any more electric shocks, and Sophie simply stayed. It was different. There were coats behind, his and hers. How did that? Sophie began to say. Paul pushed the coats aside, and there, under them, was a shiny...
Don't bother indicating anything like that.
Also, he couldn't help noticing that, although there wasn't any red paint or sign of any other repair activity, the claw mark had completely disappeared.
Fucking wanky.
Chapter 5. That night, after a rather gloomy meal of sardines on toast and mousetrap cheddar, Paul had a strange dream. It was strange because in it he wasn't being chased down long dark corridors by maths teachers or vulture-headed aunts. He didn't find himself doing the reading at morning assembly wearing only a dunce's cap. He wasn't sitting an A-level in classical Sanskrit, and no curly-headed young men in Victorian. He was sitting in an office,
Jesus.
which for some reason he knew belonged to John Wells, the senior partner he'd never seen.
Fucking
It
hell,
was
fire.
new, and the cold gave him headaches. What fun. Yes, he thought, but today I'm going to see the girl I love. And as he dressed and shaved, he wondered what it could possibly be like to see the girl he loved every day of the week. Not just... Not that it bothers me at all. I hate having to wear all these stupid work clothes. My mum had to go out and get them for me. I haven't got a clue
Fucking
about
hell.
that stuff. Might as well be back
Well
at school,
past the line.
wearing uniform. And been prescribed a course of leeches. I'm still not sure exactly what it is we're meant to be doing, he said.
Oh.
For one thing, what do they need a strong room for? I thought that was just banks. She shook her head. The lawyers and accountants too, she said. My dad's office has got one. Well, they call it a strong room. It's actually a converted toilet with a Yale lock on the door. It's where they keep people's share certificates and bonds and stuff. He thought for a moment. Maybe that's what J.W. Wells and Co.
Somebody's on the
does,
phone.
he speculated. Maybe they're just accountants after all. Don't think so, she replied.
Text message.
I mean,
Must be.
I'm not an expert or anything, but it doesn't
Look
strike
down,
me as much
look
like
down.
my dad's place. I think they're either stockbrokers or they do import-export. Or commodities, she added, whatever that involves. I think they buy up loads of stuff from one lot of companies and sell it to another lot of companies for more than they paid for it. Yes,
Can't read.
though
Road
really
markings?
that wouldn't fit at all, would it?
Pitiful.
Maybe they're into mineral
Left ear behind, 'cause
rights
she's
as well as
on the
minerals.
phone.
Paul frowned. He wasn't sure minerals had rights, though he couldn't see offhand why they shouldn't. He couldn't remember having seen mineral rights activists picketing steelworks on the telly, or being stopped in the street and asked to sign petitions about it, but maybe the movement was still in its infancy. At 5 to 2, they went back to the office. The long stapler had, of course,
Yeah, she
vanished.
is on the phone. There it is.
My
In her
turn,
hand.
Sophie said. I'll go and look for it, and you can get on.
Just to offer words of praise in respect of any of these, your remarks would be far from empty flattery.
A small gnat whirred past the professor's left ear.
Fucking hell, man.
He snapped it out of the air between thumb and middle finger without looking at it.
Bloody
Where
knobhead.
money is concerned, she is prudent and scrupulous.